listen. If you hate common denominators, all right, this is for you. All right, this today locks you in on it there. And what you're going to find out there is you're not alone. All right, we don't like common denominators. That's why we dislike the adding and the subtracting of the fractions so much. So your algorithm here today, instead of going with common denominators, we notice something else that's going on. So with all that being said, all right, we're going to go kind of rogue here a little bit, all right, because they're trying to get you to do something different, and I'm not a fan of it there, all right. Okay, so example one, somebody can look at there. So Molly purchased 11/8 cups of strawberries. She eats 2/8 in a serving. How many servings did Molly purchase? Okay, so the idea here is she's got this many strawberries, and then she's dividing them up into groups of 2/8 because that's how much is in a serving, each serving that's there. So what we're doing here is we're doing 11/8 divided by 2/8. And what we notice is we do have a common denominator. And so a lot of you are just noticing like, hey, can't we just do 11 divided by 2? And we can. So yeah, that's going to give me 5.5. All right, so where'd that come from? Well, how many groups of 11? How many groups of 2 can we take out of 11? Well, we take 5 of them out. 5 times 2 is 10. There's one piece that's left over, so she's getting 5.5 servings. Okay, so what about if they didn't give me 2/8? Because 2/8 actually simplifies to 1/4. So what if we're actually doing 11/8 divided by 1/4? Well, we know we got to get to 5.5 for an answer. So one is, like I said, we can get common denominators, but not a fan. So one of the things that we notice here is a connection. So if you're going to take half of 10, okay, half of 10, well, we know that's 5, all right? But mathematically, what's going on here? Well, to take half of something, we're actually dividing by 2, all right? So take half of something, you're actually going to be dividing by 2. If you want to take a third of something, if you're going to take a third of, let's say, 6, all right? Again, if you take 6, all right, and we break them up into those groups of 3, all right, we're going to have 2 in each of them. And so what we find out here is that, wait a second, taking a third of something is the exact same thing as dividing it by 3. So what we're noticing here is dividing by 2 and the 1/2. These are what we call reciprocals. In other words, we flip them. All right, if you flip 1/2, you get 2. If we flip 1/3, well, we get 3. So again, what we want to notice here is that a third of something is the exact same thing as dividing by 3. Now let's go a little bit deeper into of. What does of mean in math? Well, yeah, part and whole, we see it in there, but mathematically, it means to multiply. So check this out. 1/2 times 10. Well, I'll make 10 into a fraction. All right. We can multiply across. And what's 10 divided by 2? Well, it's a 5. So that's what we got for it. So where's this going? Okay. Where it's going is that to divide with fractions, you actually, and let's get this written down right up here, we multiply by the reciprocal. And remember, reciprocal, fancy mathematical word here, it means to flip your fraction. So let's look at this. Again, we know the answer is supposed to be 5.5 here. But let's watch how this works. If I take 11/8 and multiply, and multiply by the reciprocal, all right, so flip that 1/4, and you get 4/1, okay? All right, let's use our multiplication skills. Instead of just multiplying straight across, let's use cross division. So look at those diagonals. See that 4? See that 8? We're dividing by a 4. So 4 divided by 4 is a 1. 8 divided by 4 is a 2. Okay, now we can multiply across. 11 times 1, 11. 2 times 1, 2. Check it out. weren't we just saying 11 divided by 2 up here? And look who just showed up, 11 divided by 2. So again, it's going to give us the exact same answer. So instead of the whole common denominator, new numerators, then let's do our division, we find it's much more better, but that's not good grammar. It's much faster, it's easier, it's just a better technique to multiply by the reciprocal. All right, so there it is, reciprocal. All right, remember that means to flip the fraction. So let's get some examples down. So in other words, 2/3 and 3/2. Those are reciprocals. They've been flipped. All right, let's look at example 2. We're going to do 3/4 divided by 2/3. Forget the model. All right, 3/4 divided by 2/3. To divide, we know that we multiply by the reciprocal. All right, so I'm checking 3 and 4, no cross division. 3 and 2, no cross division. So let's multiply across. We get 9/8. Let's just clean it up. How many groups of 8 can I take out of 9? Well, 1. How many pieces are left over? Well, there's 1 left. And I was trying to put them in groups of 8. All right, I can check real quick. 8 times 1 is 8, plus the 1 is the 9. It gets me back to that 9/8 that we were just looking at. So again, technique-wise, that's what we want to get you use of there. So forget the model, standard algorithm, that's where it's at. Let's do one more. Go to question 3 there. All right, so 7/8 divided by 1/2. So remember, we leave the first fraction alone. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So check the diagonals. All right, I see cross division. We can divide them both by 2. So 2 divided by 2, 8 divided by 2. All right, let's multiply across. Hello 7, hello 4. Then let's simplify. I can take one group out. There are 3 pieces left over. And I was trying to put them in groups of 4. And there we have it. All right. So again, people, multiply by the reciprocal. Stay away from those common denominators. We'll see you later.